Who is ready to start day 3 of Arozzi Northern League of Legends Championship? Day 3, this is beautiful play day for Group A. We had 2 days until now. I do apologize for my webcam. It's now working as intended, but it's going to be a lovely day. I have my chair finally. I'm so happy for this because it's actually so comfortable. I have my cup of tea. We have our teams who are ready to go into Summon's Rift, but is going to be on the show today. Without further ado, I would like to introduce the desk. Well, it's Middlecott the teacher and Foxtrot the teacher as well somehow.
Double teacher.
Oh, my webcam is out of words.
What is going on?
Pleasant surprise.
What is going on? Like, producer was in my ear literally 5 seconds ago. Like, Middlecott, your webcam's out of focus. Your webcam's out of focus. I thought I'd fixed it. But clearly, Foxtrot has stolen all of my pixels because he is looking very handsome today.
What can I say? I'm locked in, mate. I am focused. And I hope our teams are as well.
Well, welcome to the show. What do we have to say before I introduce the casters? Anything at all. I'm giving you this one opportunity.
I have something. We're going to see an upset today. We're going to see it. NORD, Vatones, someone's dropping a game. I can smell it.
Okay. I love this bit. Middlecott, do you want to upgrade?
Yeah, I'm going to have to diametrically oppose Foxtrot and say that this is probably the most cut and dry day of NLC that I have seen in a long time. I made my predictions on Twitter and I am 100% confident that all those are going to be coming through. I don't see a way that the teams that I predicted are going to win are going to drop any games.
You know what? I take your sentence and I'll raise you with you don't see it, but we don't see you as well. By the way, you're really blurred out. With that in mind, let's toss it to a caster to know who's going to be screaming today in the Summon's Rift for the first time. Solari, welcome. And Initialize, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well. I get to be joined by Solari minus the Iron Locket, so I get like the best part.
Well, we'll see about that, brother, because wherever Solari goes, the Iron Locket is always there, because you know why.
You saved this one for a long time, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Legitimately, I've been prepping these lines purely to like wind up Alicia as much as I can.
He's No, you're literally just reusing the lines from New Masters, brother.
They don't know that. It's fine.
But now they do.
Wow.
That's right.
Oh, welcome and
That's gonna
good
be a
luck
good day.
within the Rift. Do you agree this is going to be a dry day or an upset is coming?
I actually have my eyes on light side here a little bit because I think they're 0-2, but I think that's somewhat unfair. I think, yes, their mid games kind of got a little bit exposed, but they had some really solid early games that actually turned up in both the games they lost. And I think they've got a game against Verdant, who are perhaps a little bit of a paper tiger at 1-1. So I half wonder whether light side might come out of this going 2-2 overall in the day, or over the sort of the play-in such as it is. So I think we might be keeping our eyes on light side to maybe make a bit of a run up the table.
I'm gonna keep my ass on Verdant, though. You know what? I'm gonna keep my ass on them, because I wasn't fully convinced with what I saw from them last week, but I still think they got more in their pockets, and if there is any better time to show it, it's literally right now.
Hey, love it. By the way, Solari, is that a cat?
Yes, it literally does.
Thank you so much. That's all I wanted. Back to the desk. So, gentlemen. Oh, he's back.
Hey.
How do you do that? You don't even know, do you?
No clue.
There you go. You know what would be wonderful? Hey, Middlecott, can you do this?
No.
Oh, you don't?
I don't want to move. I don't want to move.
You
bro.
can't do this as well, can you? Oh, look at that. Look at that. If you want to be sitting like them, which is horrible, you do you. But if you want to be sitting like a king, you can participate on the Arozzi giveaway. All you need to do is head on to Twitter, follow NLC League of Legends. Then you go on to Instagram and follow Arozzi Official. And then all you have to do is like, retweet the post on Twitter. Come on, this is so simple. You can win one of these bad boys, which are extremely comfortable, by the way. I'm so happy with this one. I don't even know where my other one is. It's so good. So head on to Twitter, head on to Instagram. It's your time to shine and actually sit on a beautiful chair with Arozzi. We are back on this one, and I would like you both to guide me through day 1, not day 2, day 1, because we separated the days into Group A, Group B. What happened on day 1? Who wants to start this one?
I'll give us a go. And
Lovely.
the most hyped team that I believe has ever been hyped coming into an NLC split completely failed to disappoint. Los Ratones were absolutely immaculate, especially that first game up against NORD, a 26-minute win versus a team that we were expecting to be right there up at the top of the table. So for me, it feels like Los Ratones with another emphatic victory over Lightside really are our S-tier team at the moment. But then we've got Verdant, we've got NORD, we've got Bulldog coming through at 1-1, fighting up against each other. And yeah, to be perfectly honest, I don't know if there is any team that is really going to be able to get a handle on Los Ratones. Obviously, improvements are going to occur over the course of the split, but they just look so damn clean from minute 1.
I think it's worth pointing out as well, this is against NORD, who is another very star-studded lineup here in the NLC. Like this team is easily top 3 in my opinion. At least coming into the split, we expected them to be top 3, and they were dismantled by Los Ratones. It wasn't close at all. I really liked what I saw from them. I know it's just easy points here to glaze the Rats when, you know, they're as popular as they are, but legit, I mean, these guys just didn't really show us too many weaknesses, especially in this game. In the second game though, they played versus who was it? Was it Lightside or was it Verdant they played versus? I can't remember. My brain's forgetting. But either way, it was a little closer. This one here, however, though, is where I start to feel a bit disappointed from the teams in NLC, specifically from Bulldog. Now, I got a bit of playful bullying on the old Twitter Rooney for saying some things about Bulldog not playing very well, but I expect more from them, man. I expect more from them, and today they're one of the upsets that I want to see, which was, you know, it almost happened in this game as well with Lightside. The very first kind of like 10-15 minutes was exceptionally close, but then the Ratones just kind of, you know, decided they wanted to win, and here we are 23 minutes into the game with an exceptionally one-sided finish.
This is what's beautiful, because everyone that was able to keep up with the progress of Los Ratones got to see them confused at the beginning. They were like, oh, this isn't an influencer team. And then you look into it and you're like, no, not even close. They're upgrading and they're just better right now. And this is a complicated to even face this team. Do you agree with that, Milcod?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. If we're talking about big performers from week 1, I think that the Bals and his unique playstyle transferred very well over to the NLC. The amount of pressure that he was continually putting out on side lanes, teams trying to answer him, and Los Ratones responding correctly and getting, well, a lot more on the other parts of the map. But I think Reckless, for me, was phenomenal. Some of the engages that he was getting on the Alistair, on the Rel, were absolutely ridiculous. No wonder he's a world champion, right? This guy is playing so far above the level of supports that I've seen in the NLC. For a very, very long time. And I think that the onus very much is on the other teams in the league to find something to try and match Los Ratones, because they are the team to beat right now. NORD on our screen, definitely, I think, the organization that has the best shot at doing that, just with the raw power on their roster. But then you look at someone like Bulldog, Kasing, Exofeng, Lules, these guys have been around a little bit, but even someone like Lumvis Lightside, yes, there are names that we don't really recognize on there. Yes, they've had a pretty rough start to their NLC campaign, but Harbo, Rusty Snipers, mid-tier players in the NLC last year, but they did have peak performances where they looked exceptional.
And this is what we have for the menu today. This is our schedule for day 3 of NLC Winter. It's going to start with Bulldogs versus NORD, followed by Lightside versus Verdant to see if they're capable of showing up their roster, or will Verdant take them down. Los Ratones will fight versus the Bulldogs, and then NORD will take on LLS. This is an interesting matchup in my opinion. And to wrap up the day, the last one is going to be Verdant versus Los Ratones. Keep in mind that we're still on seeding stage, and at the end of the day, we'll be aware of who's going to get those numbers before we head on into tomorrow, which is day 4, and then onto the playoff stage. This is actually like an interesting split because you get the seeding and then it's just survive. Try to survive with this one in mind. I've heard your prediction, Foxtrot. I've heard your statement, Milocott. So I'd like to see it on paper because we did some predictions, and now we're going to show everyone how the casters are looking into day 3. As it stands, oh, okay. Everybody's looking for NORD on first game. Foxtrot has a different idea, a little bit split in between on LLS and Verdant. Los Ratones are taking a full win on game 3, NORD on game 4, and at the end, Foxtrot, you have some explanation to do. Enlighten me.
Mate, I might be cooking something foul in that last game. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. Looking at it now, I'm thinking. I don't know. Past me has some explaining to do. But hey, but I want to see it, dude. I want to see it. I think Verdant have been a pretty sick wild card so far. Like they've actually been pretty good. From what we've seen of them, but they've got potential, maybe. But the first game, I truly believe in. Like, I do think Bulldog have the capacity to upset NORD. Like, NORD have been decent. They've been good. I think on paper, especially, like I would argue they're the better team. But I think it's Bulldog. Bulldog's just they have a decent roster, and with the bot lane specifically as well. It's something that I'm looking forward to seeing how they can do.
There you go. Well, the expectations are there, but something was missing from NLC. And I believe you have an idea of what I mean by this. Every single time we go on to NLC, we have a game show that our host, who has some issues, brings up weird games and tests the knowledge of the desk. Well, since I have high IQ British individuals on the desk with me today, and another one on the cast, by the way, I would like to play a game of who wants to be a challenger. I know you want to, Middlecott, your fingers don't allow you, but at least we'll try to pretend like it's a possibility.
So what I'm going to do here, he's been challenger, what?
So what I'm going to do is, I'll present a question, and you will raise your arm if you know the answer. The first one to raise its arm will be able to give me an answer. If you get a correct answer, you get 1 point. If you fail, well, it's on you. I don't care. Keep in mind, chat, you're allowed to play this one, and even co-streamers are allowed to play this one. To let me know the result at the end, and who was the one that actually did the worst job from the desk. Starting from first question. What champion has a 100% presence so far? Wukong, Varus, Cassante, or Victor? Is that a hand up, Middlecott, or are you just thinking?
I'm thinking, I'm pondering.
That's a weird way to do it, but I think, okay, Middlecott, who is it?
Do you know what?
Yeah.
He's broken literally every single... Cassante, surely.
We are in the Arcane season. Do you want to lock that in?
Well, hold on, now that you've said that... Yeah, no, do you know what, Archer? Yeah, I do want to lock it in. C, Cassante.
You know what? You fell for the bait because in reality, it is Cassante, by the way. Cassante is 100% present so far, either on picks, either on bans. Moving on to the next one. Middlecott with 1 point. Come on, Fox, you got this. What team has the biggest overall game duration? Bulldog, Verdant, Venomcrest, or NORD? I don't know why I highlighted that, but it's not related to the answer. Or maybe it is, I don't know.
Okay, so it might be D, it might not be D. NORD might be getting involved. I can't... Dude, like, I feel like...
Think about it,
my
Fox,
God,
think about it.
Tough. This is tough. Bulldog had a pretty long game versus Lightside, but they got wrecked versus...
But my thing as well is, like, I went back and looked at the Venomcrest Rich Gang game, because I think me and Jamada were both losing our minds over that one. It was only 40 minutes, which is long, but it is not like a marathon.
It's not. Overall game duration, they played 2 games, so even if one is 40...
Screw it.
Middlecott, do let me know.
Screw it, Venomcrest.
Oh, that's a good attempt, but a bad at the last moment. Yeah, it's not correct, it's not. Foxtrot, you want to take a bite?
Yeah, I'm going to say it was Verdant.
Now we're talking. It starts with a V, and the V stands for it's incorrect. It was Bulldogs with 36.43 minutes with an overall game duration. This was a hard one, so let's make
Should
this
have trusted
easy,
myself.
Okay? What champion has the biggest KDA in the league so far? Kalista, Gali, Zera, or Corki?
I know this one.
He knows. Fox!
I don't actually know it, but I'm going to guess Galio.
Wait, you just... Are you lying?
The reason for this is, I think only Rats have played it, no? Surely Nemesis has like an insane KDA on this. That's my guess.
Now we're talking. It is... Galio with 35 KDA.
Yeah, I told you I knew it. Never doubted it.
I'm just letting you know. 35 KDA.
Yeah,
that's the big
disgusting.
one. We have a tie. Middlecourt Fox. Fourth question. Two players share the highest KDA in the league with 35 KDA. They also share the same home country. Where are they from? Portugal, Denmark, Norway, or Slovenia? Middlecourt, you raise your hand.
Slovenia.
Are you sure they're not Danish? Because somewhere duckling exists.
They are not Danish. Nemesis would never be Danish. Never in his life.
Oh, you fell for the bait of the previous question for this one. They are, in fact, Slovenia. Two players from Los
I can't play
Ratones.
with my heart like that, man.
Is Velio Slovenian? Is it Velio? Who's the other one?
Nemesis
Crowny.
and Crowny.
Crowny.
Oh, Crowny, of course, yeah.
Nemesis and
I didn't realize he was
Crowny.
also
You're not up on
Slovenian.
your Slovenes.
Two
No, I'm not.
and one.
You need to fix that.
Okay, this is it. Foxdrop. Can you tie it up, or will
Okay.
Middlecourt be the first one winning a game show? By the way, the desk member who has the most amount of wins on the game show by the end of the split will receive a special present from me.
I'm locking in.
Production is not aware of this. This is a special present I'm giving away. And I'm the one planning. Nobody knows what this is. Fifth and last question. Who's the player with the highest death count? Okay, Foxtrot raised his arm. Is it Lottie, Balsi, Leon Lecargo, or Rusty Sniper? Foxtrot, you raise your hand.
We have to go with Baus. That's gotta be my guess. I put my hand up before I even knew what the question was because I've got to full send it because else I'm losing. So, but it's gotta be Baus. Surely he died
I
five times
tried.
on the Cho'Gath.
I actually tried to make
0-5-0.
this one a hard one.
But
It's on me. It's on me. It's not even close.
it's not the Baus.
It's not the boss. This was a trap.
Yo, the NLC.
You
teams
fell
need to
into my
step it
trap
up.
cards.
They need to
Baited.
step it up.
Absolutely baited. So,
Middle
right.
cut. This could
So-
be you.
My thinking
Uh,
is
uh,
Rusty Sniper
okay.
is an inter.
We all
okay.
agree on that statement. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just a true statement.
Yeah. He agrees with that as well. Yeah.
But I feel like Leo Lecargo had some like rough games. Like I think he had like a 10 death game. So I'm gonna go with him as my answer.
We're gonna lock it in.
Yeah, lock it in. Lock it in.
If you fail, will you allow yourself to get a -1 point?
What kind of-
Hold on, no, what?
Be fair,
No,
will you
what?
allow
Let's lock it in then.
That's one
He locks
point.
in
All right,
Leo
fine. I don't care.
Ricardo.
Screw it. Yeah, go on then.
The answer to this question is Leo Lecargo. It is. It is debated.
I was
Fox, I'm
debated.
so sorry. It's not because of the emote or anything like that. You didn't even get to see the picture. You recently raised your hand.
I just instantly raised it. I was like, I gotta go for this.
Subliminal messaging.
I gotta go for
He's
this.
not even top 10 on deaths, by the way.
That's
That is
crazy.
rough. That
That's
is rough.
crazy.
As he used to say back in 2022, he had a saying called "Oh yo." So that's it. Okay, that was bouncy statement.
Okay.
Well, with that in mind, we have ourselves our first game show winner, Middlecourt, and you're winning the race. But I will not let you know what's the present. What I can let you know is that you brought in some media, like some news, correct, Middlecourt? You produced something for us, correct?
Well, I think someone was doing some news really. I couldn't confirm if it was myself. Obviously, I only wear nice comfy sweaters like this.
Ah, so it's not you. You know what? Might as well take a peek into understand what are the news for NLC. We'll be right back.
Welcome to NLC News. I'm Middlecourt and this is your NLC update. Our top story tonight. The majority of NLC fans shocked to find out there are 9 other teams in the league not named Los Ratones. This discovery was made after the collective brain cell of Los Ratones decided to search up NLC on Leaguepedia and was amazed to find 9 other teams competing in the league. When approached for comment by NLC News, the head of the Los Ratones fan club released a statement which read, and I quote, "XDD, we are rats, XDD, XDD." Top laner for Ruddy Sack Perks has come under fire for allegedly dumping 400,000 plastic straws into the ocean in an apparent crusade against those Ramus-looking mother that can swim. This comes just days after being solo killed by Chaos's Turtle in a play which many are calling the greatest play by a Brazilian player in the Northern League of Legends ecosystem since JoJo's infamous Lee Sin kick in the UKEL. In protest of Perk's actions, Verdant have pledged to donate all of their prize money from this year to environmental charities. However, some commentators claim this is merely a cynical attempt from the organisation to finally win a split and to not have to endure the constant haranguing from some sections of the community saying the Aurora Cup doesn't count. GG has taken a new meaning to the fans of Lundvis Lightside, Goo Goo Gaga. Supporters of the organisation have started to use the phrase in reference to their team's role as the coughing baby in the hydrogen bomb-filled Group A. With the stacked rosters around them, not many are expecting success from the Swedish organisation. Management, however, has reassured fans saying that as long as they just don't think about it, nothing bad will happen. Venom Crest continue to surprise absolutely nobody after picking up some bloke from the French third tier who happens to be half decent at League of Legends. In a move that everyone saw coming, their new jungler Kiki is pretty good, and Venom Crest will probably do that thing again where they randomly win a bunch of games and do well for no reason. And finally, in celebration of his excellent start to the NLC, the Norwegian government have awarded citizenship to Nyx from Rich Gang. As part of the ceremony, the formerly Spanish jungler will also receive a check for 1 million krone, which after tax is almost enough to buy 2 whole loaves of bread. That's all from us here at NLC News. I've been Middlecott and this has been your NLC Update.
Thank you for the news, whoever it was on the screen. Lovely of you to bring that up. But now it's time to move on to the first match. We still have to talk about the teams. Calm down, everybody at Twitch. I know, Casa, start the game. It's up to initialize. It's not up to us. So head on to Twitter and spam his DMs with start the game. It's on him, not me. So Bulldog versus NORD. And in reality, in paper, as soon as you look into day one, you look into Bulldog and you're like, there's no way they will win. But what if there's a way?
There is a way. And,
Tell me!
and I believe in it. I believe in it. So the thing with Bulldog, right?
Yes,
from week one, they were cheeks. It was poor, very poor show, and I was exceptionally disappointed in what I saw from them. But the thing is, on paper, as a roster, I think they have the talent. They're pretty skilled, especially downside in that bot lane. I've always got to keep my eyes on a Kasing lane because I think he's always great in NLC. I mean, he won it all last year. Exafinger showed us some great things as well. He got into the Ez and Callista in last week, so he's not even played like the particularly that Varus. He hasn't been able to lock in either, and we've seen when Bulldog play through bot side, good things can happen. There's a lot of potential for Bulldog as well to make it happen through there, and the facilitation of that bot with the rest of the draft. Like, we know Ludus can play these setup and these gank style champions. We know Mietic as well can play more teamfight orientated top laners. So it's all good, it's all good to set up for your carries in the mid and in the bot. And I have faith that Bulldog can do that. NORD is not going to be an easy customer. They are very talented in their own rights as well. Just look at the names, they speak for themselves. But Bulldog haven't shown us their best, and I believe their ceiling is high. So this is where I want them to turn it around in a statement game against NORD.
So today, Bulldog will show up and they'll show the team as well to everybody. This is only play day, and this would be important moving on to playoffs. I take your statement. I understand it, Foxdrop. Middlecott, can you counter argument that?
Well, we're talking about like looking at the bot lane, and then we're talking about the big names on NORD, but we do actually need to read them out. I think if you go to any person who has been a casual fan of League of Legends for the last 5 years, and you go, Vizichachi or Mietek, Santorin or Lulus, Noe or Cayman, you're going to be getting them saying that NORD roster is a little bit more familiar. These are players that we recognize, and we recognize them for good reason because they're pretty damn good at what they do. I think that when you move away from the bot lane, that's where the advantage really comes to bear. For NORD, particularly when we're looking in the mid-jungle. I think that Santorin had an exceptional performance in NORD's week, and I think that Noe has also shown a lot of proficiency on stuff like the Victor, which is it's just like the mid lane pick at the moment. Yeah, Arcane season is kind of just the way that things work. So for me, even if the bot lane goes even, and Bulldogs rightly can feel happy about that, the rest of the map I'm expecting to bleed in favor of NORD, and that's where I think the advantages will really come in an even bot lane state.
So from your statement, you telling me that no way will be the defining factor, at least the final piece, the most important piece in favor of NORD. Obviously having Centaur and helping him and all that, but no way is the crucial piece. Is that it?
Well, I'd hope so, right? I think that there have been questions about the size of his champion pool. But there is a reason why this guy has been consistently one of the top performing players in Germany. It's because he just knows how to get it done. Not many people could just start up a team with their friends and get them promoted so high up the ERL system that they actually had to form an org when their org's name was No Need Org. Like, that's just a testament to how good he is. And yes, Cayman has also had some relative success within the German scene, but I think Noe's just got a bit more of an aura about him.
Okay.
Just a bit more of a presence of this
Yeah,
guy.
but listen, dude, if you look at Cayman's champion pool, Cayman's got a bit of an aurora about him. He locked that in and he was sick. You know, he was that guy. And also, we can't ignore the fact that if we get a Bulldog win, there's a high chance of Cayman and his dog showing up again in the winner's interview. And that we need that. We need that again. That, what was his name? Nomi? Oh, that dog was exceptionally sweet. So, listen, I just think if we put it out there, then the universe will manifest it, and we'll get it out. But for real, honestly, Middlecourt, I loved your points. And if this was, what year are we now? 2025? Yeah, maybe if we were 2019, I would have been there with you. Vizichachi, Santorin, X-Matty, Treats. Who are these old fogies, mate? They're washed, bro. It's over. It's over for them. It's Bulldogs time, man. It's Bulldogs time.
I love how it was a debate, and it's now at full on war.
Hold on, Archer.
Tell me.
I refuse to believe that Foxdrop has just described a team playing against Kasing as washed. Like, I'm not going to... Kasing,
He's
I love
timeless,
that
bro.
guy. Absolutely lovely. Raymond, one of just the GOATs of UK League. Okay? But this guy, he has to pause mid-game to go to the post office to collect his pension. Like, that's the scrim schedule for Bulldog right now, okay? So we can't be calling people washed when we've got a 65-year-old on the other team.
Nah, but that's it. With age comes experience and wisdom. In his case.
Wait!
Not in your case.
You're
in my
retracting
case.
on what you
Not
said
in your
then.
case.
You're going back.
Just
I
with
do have a
him.
question, if possible, Middlecott, because you're defending NORD, and I love the way that this is going. Obviously, friendly banter, but Vizichachi has played in multiple roles, you know. But he died against the wall versus a Maokai.
That was perks.
Oh, that was from Ruddy. I'm flaming another team. I'm going for tomorrow. No, that's from the other team. So you're telling me that NORD, even with, well, they have all this experience, they will be able to translate that into the Rift, and Bulldogs, you're telling me Foxdrop, that will translate like Kasing and all that into the game itself. So I see both points. What I want to know is, what champions can we expect? Because we are 1 minute away from champion select, and I know this is a best of one. So do let me know, what champions do we need to expect? We should highlight, because obviously Skarner is out. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Vados probably is going to be removed as well. Maybe Victor should be removed. I don't know. I know he's heavily influenced by items, and if you're capable of putting Victor behind, he falls short. But what else should we be on the lookout?
Well, I think you've actually highlighted sort of a couple key champions for NORD there, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, Skarner, not really seeing much play, but a very similar champion to him is the Vi that Santorin played both games last week. Very good performances. And then we're looking at stuff like Varus and Ash for Xmati. I feel like he's always been a bit more of an enabling ADC with these pick-focused champions. And then I just want full damage from No Way. Conditional CC, we're talking about gravity fields, we're talking about petrifying gazes. Not stuff that is necessarily going to start you a fight every single time, but if you've already caught someone out, you can follow up and drop a load of damage on their head. So from NORD, that's what I'm anticipating. Vizichachi's going to play whatever he wants, because let's be honest, this guy, he's been a professional top laner for like 15 years at this point. He can play Gnar, he can play Renekton, he can play Cassandra, he can play Poppy, he can play whatever he wants.
But he did bring a point into the interview, and both of you may help me on this one, where when you have such like high experience from all the players, that may be confusing within the Rift, because everybody's making calls, and it's not like all the calls are wrong. Obviously not. That's the opposite. If all calls are correct, because everybody will bring their experience and they know their calls are correct, but nobody follows them because they have another call in mind. That simple delay of like 1 second could be the defining factor. So when you put that into the Rift itself, is it like 1 week? Is it enough to fix that?
I mean, we don't know.
Because he brought that up on the interview.
Yeah, this is it. There's the potential of having too many cooks in the kitchen, right? Like a lot of voices, a lot of opinions, and you do have to rectify that and find a way to make it happen. So yeah, mate, I mean, I would say by week 2, no, if that is a significant problem for your team, then that will remain a significant problem for your team until at least like a month or 2 of playing together. Like week 2 NLC, it wouldn't have fixed it. From what I saw from them though, like I mean, Vizichachi did mention it, like they do just need to find that cohesion, but they did seem to be moving in a pretty solid way around the map. I don't know why I'm hyping NORD up. They're the bad guys for us this matchup, but yeah, to that point for Bulldog, like you have that that experience voicing Kasing, right? And so yeah, it's simple to follow those calls. I think we'll be seeing Draven as well as a priority pick, to go back to what you guys were talking about, because Exafang is a very good Draven player. So yeah, that's probably going to be taken off the board as well. And aside from that, the standard, like the Skarners, the Victors, and maybe Kalista as well getting taken away, that kind of thing.
Oh, the Kalista as well. Vi, another one from the Arcane in the jungle the previous week, took such a big highlight from both days, it being removed. What else do you take away? Because Red side should be the one dealing with the Skarner, or else Bulldog will just say thank you very much, we'll take that in. And there you go, the Scorpion is gone. We're about to jump into the first one. Don't worry about this champion select. We just have a lot of lines, we just like to see colors.
Yeah, what about bot side then? Varus, Kalista, maybe. Poppy's been against Vizichachi a lot too. The thing is, that's going to throw a wrench in this draft is Vizichachi is probably the biggest carry top laner we have in the NLC. Full stop. Right, like as far as a team that can rely on their top laner to get it done and to carry, it's NORD with Vizichachi, and we saw that last week in his Gnar game specifically. So it's hard. It's hard to play against that. There goes the Kalista. Now, do you pick up that Varus? Because that is a very high priority pick, and some other priority bot laners have now gone.
Yeah, I think you've definitely got the potential to do it. I will say, like, the Aurora is open for Cayman as well, but it's actually going to be the Rumble.
I like this.
Really strange, actually, to rotate this early in draft. I feel like the only reason the Bulldogs would pick this is because they're not expecting Vizichachi to pick a hard counter, so they can just kind of slam Rumble into whatever matchup they're going to get, and then they get to counter pick on R2, like with their B2 and B3. But it's a really sort of bold gambit. Usually you expect to see sort of like junglers rotated, maybe mid laners, maybe ADs, like stuff that doesn't get necessarily hard countered by what's going to be going up against it in lane. NORD, though, here responding with the Ezreal. Interesting pick. So often is just seen as stand back, hit Q, and not really contribute all that much. The best Ezreals pilot him close to the edge as possible. They're arcane shifting forward. They're trying to maximize their DPS with that passive. And I think the gambit for Bulldogs here already paying off that on not really going to trouble the Rumble too much in top lane.
Yeah, and at this point, if I'm Bulldog, I'm looking for like AoE, I'm looking for crowd control, set up that red carpet, get those big, almost wombo combo team fights coming through in the mid game. I had a quick check of the stats of Bulldog. This Rumble is not a flex. Ludison came in and never played a Rumble game in competitive, so it will. We did see Metic play it last week as well, so you know, we assume it's top side, but there's nothing funky going on here at all. Like, this is going to be top lane Rumble. Getting that Maokai slapped in as well, most likely jungle Maokai, but obviously that can be a bit of a flex down in that bot side as well, arguably top lane as well if you really wanted to get into it, but not with that Rumble. But yeah, again, I want to see crowd control. I want to see see dogpiling. I want to see you go all in. Yone does that. You know, Yone does that, but you've opted into 2 blinds in your solo lanes at this point if you're Bulldog and your first pick, right? Like, that's for me, that signifies, okay, let's get that bot lane sorted. Let's get Exofeng and Kasing going here, and we'll make maybe our solo laners struggle a little bit instead.
Oh, with Acacio coming in, Yone and Maokai might have an issue, and also they're going to be targeting that AD champion pool now in the second phase of bans.
Yeah, and I think this is particularly scary for Bulldog because No Way pulled this out in day 1 against Ronaldo and sent him to 0-5 in this exact matchup. So I feel like Bulldog are trying to play sort of games with the draft, but honestly, Nords are kind of coming out the better end of things as it stands. You've got double AP topside, which means that this Ornn just needs to build the magic resistance, some fire cloak, I can't remember what it's called, and then he's going to be absolutely chilling in that scenario. And Nord have got a lot of damage for themselves, but still have flexibility within jungle support that they can grab.
Curious that Wukong was able to last until the second phase for Bulldog to take them away. I was wondering like why no one picked that one up. Tell me, Fox, there's something within you. I know you want to bring something out. It's that dog,
baby. That's what it is, and I'm feeling it on the rift as well. The Bulldog. I'm not really. I don't like this draft at all, but it's cool. I'm looking real. That's what I'm looking at. Like you can see Nord. They get it. They get it. Like what I was saying. Crowd control, all in, engage, that kind of thing. Nautilus, Rakan gone. Rel is like the big other option there, right? Like I don't think you want to pick, you know, maybe like a Braum or something to deny Ornn, that kind of thing, but I don't really think you're gonna be doing that. I think in this situation, if you're Bulldog, you pick Rel, and then you can, you know, try and last pick the ADC or something and get something positive going there. You know who you're up against though, so you could just try and. I still think like the Varus is a good shout here as well. And with that, maybe you do pick a more supporty style bot laner, but it's going to be that Viego for Santorin, so more carry focus than the Vi, which I would argue is more of like a team orientated champion. So we'll see if Santorin's got those carry pants on.
Yeah, to an extent though, I don't think he really needs them as much this game, right? I think so often we see Viego picked in scenarios where he has to be a primary damage threat, and when you've got a Cassiopeia and an Ezreal piloted by someone as good as Xmati, you can afford to play a bit more of the sort of cleanup duty, which is, I think, the style that Viego really prefers to opt into. You don't necessarily want to be diving in right at the beginning of the fight because, I mean, Yone Rumble, that's enough damage there to completely cook you. But if you can come in when someone's on 30% HP, you get that reset, and then you can start taking over. Always like looking with Viego's at the basic abilities that he's going to be able to steal away. And Maokai, for me, absolutely S tier. Gap closer on the W combined with a root, and you've got the Q Bramble Smash knockback as well. Really powerful tools in team fights, and he's going to need them because when you're going up against Jinx Lulu, one overstep means death. Resets for them all of a sudden, and your team being wiped.
This could be it to seal the deal for Nord with Engage. They have AoE, they have everything, they have follow-up. But apparently they're going to track back and do the Carmen right now. So movement speed as well. This is an interesting one. Okay, we have the team set up, locked in. Obviously, we went with the Bulldog in favor of Fox and the Nord in favor of Middle. At the end of the champion select, where did we stand?
Oh, mate, I'm feeling woozy. I'm not.
Woozy.
Yeah, I'm not really liking this. I don't like the pivot towards Jinx Lulu in this last 2 picks of Bulldog personally, because like now you think like you've got a dive in comp, a comp that wants to go forward, throw everything forward and take these scrappy fights. And who's going in? Rumble, Yone, Maokai. Maokai's the only one there who's going to be tanky, right? Everyone else is just gonna blow up, which, yeah, not ideal. I really wanted to see a support that could go in there and soak up some of that as well. The Lulu to protect Jinx is like, it's cool, but I just don't think it fits your team quite as well. And on the other hand, you know, when you've got that Karma especially coming through from NORD, I think it's a great adaptation and a great pick, because again, you know, people jump in from Bulldog, you mantra the shield, disengage, and then you go back in a little while later when Bulldog's already used their stuff. So I have to say, as much as I want Bulldog to win, draft-wise, I like what NORD have done.
Metalcart, final words before we toss it to the cast. Make it simple.
I don't know, man.
Freshy.
I feel like so often League of Legends games are decided by whose tank is able to last longer in a team fight, and I feel like an Ornn is going to be an AP jungle Maokai every single day of the week.
I don't know, if you go AP, are you not squishy, like extremely squishy?
You get Leandries, but it just doesn't. You just can't stand in the middle of 5 people and survive for 20 seconds like Ornn can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So both of you are looking uninclined towards NORD. Is that it?
I mean, I've still got to sit on
Interesting.
Bulldog, obviously, because
you have that
yeah,
dog.
I'm not a whip, mate. I'm not a flip-flopper. I'm not French. You do not call me Monsieur Philippe, first name Philippe. Je suis pas Philippe Philippe. I am. I'm knocked in, baby. And that's. Don't know where that came from. It's Bulldog. It's Bulldog.
Box
Straight
drop.
out the gate.
Talking French was not in my bingo card for today. It was just not. I don't know where you stand, chat. I don't know. I would like to hear your prediction as well. Who do you think is going to win? Just spam the chat and make the life of our moderators extremely complicated. Now, to make it easier for everybody who's listening, how about we toss it to the castle for the first time within the rift of NLC Division 1? We have Solari and Initialize. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Artron. We just heard the wonderful words of wisdom from Monsieur Flop. Not heard that alter ego from Foxy before, but I'm glad to see that he's bringing out a little bit of French culture here in the NLC. Both of the analysts there were a little bit worried about the options for that dive comp to really get going and survive the dive into what is a fairly hefty disengage and tanky frontline on the side of NORD.
That's the thing there, it's not just the front line for NORD. As much as I agree with middle court that Ornn is going to be exactly the thing that is going most likely to survive the initial engage from Bulldogs, it's all the other things that they have drafted to their team comp that can survive this engage and turn it into a nice disengage for themselves, especially if you consider Norway is playing on Cassiopeia this time. And Cassiopeia is going to be great into Yone, into Rumble, into Maokai, who are going to try to go into her, and their engage is pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy to read, and it's really easy to catch them into the ultimate and stop the engage right there.
And how many times have we seen Viegos be able to ult away from people trying to dive onto him, then claim the body, turn it right back around, stealing all those engage tools? You've got an Ezreal as well, who is pretty notorious for being hard to get to, especially when you've already got those tools in front to help disengage. So I completely agree with that. That said, I do somewhat see what Bulldog are trying to do. I don't think it's going to be that easy into this composition, but I can sort of see what the idea is. That, look, we've got all of this upfront damage burst with the Maokai ult that sets up for a really good Rumble ult and a really good Yone ult, because everyone will be rooted in place for those two ults to be point and click. And then you get a reset for Jinx with the rocket. And then you've got the Lulu behind the Jinx to finish up the fights from there. And I sort of see that 1-2-3 combo of the Maokai ult into the 2 solo lane ults, into the Jinx running over things. I just don't know how easy that's going to be as we head on to the Rift. And you've heard the concerns. We've all got them. Already hovering over Norway's Cassiopeia, who did despicable things to Ronaldo. NORD are going for a 2-man invade, but there are every single member of Bulldogs around. But that ward is a known quantity, and the resets come on through, and we don't have any level 1 violence in early first bloods this time around.
A little bit unsatisfied with that, but it's okay. You know what? We're still going to have a lot of blood happening around. I was honestly just looking at how the drafts were going. I was expecting that NORD were maybe cooking up a little bit of a lane swappy situation, especially showing up a little bit of that. Who was it? Oh my god. Can you remind me, because we were talking about it? Sion, right, that was Sion that they were hovering for a hot second there, but in the end did not happen, and it looks like we are getting a little bit of the lane swap. But the thing is, they still have On for Vizichachi on the top lane, and On is still going to be mighty fine into the bot lane of Bulldog coming onto him.
And it is Bulldog that initiate this when we were wondering whether with the Ornn lock in it might be the other way around, as you were kind of saying. However, instead of sending Miatic to go follow Ludus, they've actually sent the mid lane to try and manage the early difficult levels into the Cassiopeia. You've already said actually can be a bit annoying to manage for Cayman, but Treats has roamed on up early here, gets a Mantra Q down, and immediately trades a damage right on back. And the lanes will become a 2v2 in mid lane, at least for the moment.
I missed that a little bit of this Aram-like action on the mid lane. It makes total sense again for Bulldog's side, because Cayman, we have seen already Cassiopeia being drafted into Yone and one of them being forced to go to another lane just because it hurts so much to be standing against Cassiopeia on the early levels until he gets the boots, until he gets to level 6. It's just pain.
Chachi has got Grasp and a Biscuit and a desire to catch as many minions as he can into a Jinx Lulu top side, but it is giving on the other side for NORD. Xmati a lot of free time on this bot lane to pick up as much free CS and experience as he can. Chachi been chunked, hits the level 2 finally, but is not having a particularly fun time up here in the 1v2. But hey, welcome to lane swap top laners. You just don't get to have much fun.
You don't get to have any fun at all, I'm afraid. But at least most likely he's not going to be dove, considering all the changes we've had to the damage from the turrets and the damage from the minions and the changes to the minion waves. Most likely Chachi is going to survive this. And as I say that, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. Yeah, that was the most caster curse I've heard in a while. Just goes, yeah, he'll be fine, right? No, he's not. Chachi died for first blood. And you can blame Solari for that one, straight up.
You cannot blame me for that. You can blame the combination of Jinx Lulu on the early levels. Very obnoxious and very safe bot lane duo. But you can blame me a little bit. Okay, fine. I take that.
Mid lane, good trade there from Cayman, who has been allowed to get through some of those slightly riskier early levels against the Caspian. Actually has a decent chunk. We'll have a look at this replay now. Chachi at the level 2. And he gets caught out here and just eats a lot of free damage. The zap comes on through and yep, that's a dead Ornn.
Yeah, that's obviously just
away.
Pure damage, yes. And with Kasing tanking 2 turret shells just to make sure that Jinx can stay further on the lane and farm up, or they have a very safe reset. It just worked out for Bulldog, and now they have 1 feat of strength already to their name.
They do, and for those who've not been paying that much attention to this season of League of Legends as yet, you can see all those feats of strength underneath the names. But that might have to wait for a second, because Treats has come in for a gank into mid lane. The renewal does its work, roots down Cayman. Of course, it's no way that picks up the kill, and Santorin's even there to pick up an assist on top of it all.
And we got another kill for NORD. They're making sure that they are keeping the situation on the mid lane a little bit neutralized. Also, potentially looking forward to the main objectives, because we have both the Drake and the first set of Krabbies spawning relatively soon. But I'm first looking at this Drake, because it's going to be an infernal one. And again, taking the objectives for the feats of strength sounds rather important these days. I am, by the way, quite happy that apparently they are going to be changing the feats of strength a little bit. At least the first blood one. I think it's going to be first 3 kills.
Makes a little bit more sense. In the sense that First Blood is being a little bit volatile, can be quite frustrating, I think, for people to play against sometimes, even if it is as much a game feel thing as an actual stats thing. I can understand the decision there to make that a little less binary, so to speak. So you can see how that all plays out as splits and patches and stuff keep going on. The dragon now spawned. Viego, a known quantity just got pinged out on his raptors, so not really doing too much here. Been a relatively quiet early game outside of the 2 spicy bits in the mid lane. A second or 2 here to wait.
We're still looking forward to bigger fights a bit later on in the game. I would say the mid games especially, where things are going to get heated. And as I'm saying it, I'm looking at Mierek, who might yet again prove me wrong on this top lane. But if Mierek could get a kill on this top lane, or just at least get a little bit more prior, that would have been pretty much free grabbies for Bulldog yet again to go towards the second feat of strength, because they already have 1. They just need 2 big objectives and that's it.
If you can get towards that additional bit of gold could be quite nice. So on the side, if you're NORD and you do get those feats of strength, you've got the Ornn on your team as well. You just get loads of free items worth of gold as the game goes on from those Ornn items on top of your feats of strength. Can feel pretty good.
Actually, yeah, if you think about it. Because you have Ornn on your team, and also on top of that you have Cassiopeia, who doesn't even need to buy boots whatsoever.
He doesn't need boots! That's so true.
You're basically getting so much for free with this team comp, if you get the feats of strength, of course, yeah?
I mean, of course, but it doesn't mean you're not going to get all sets of boots, because Cassiopea's on your team. So there you go. But anyway, Santorin on our screen, taking that first dragon of the game, the Infernal you were mentioning earlier. So that'll be a trade back on those objectives, and that one for the count on NORD. But on the other side, Lulis is taking the grubs to make that a decent split of those neutral objectives.
I'm looking at the bot lane though, because Kasink is extremely low there, has to reset, but Santorin is around, has level 6 available to him. Do they want to have some fun with Exofang? Oh, that is fun too, honestly.
Just decides to step away from this one. It would have been a little risky to stand around, and resets come on through. 2 plates down in the bot lane towards Xmati, who's having a fine old time on this Ezreal so far, and in this game as well, potentially some serious value from the range that Ezreal can provide. We've seen a lot of very good Ezreal performances so far this season. Lots of people piloting that champion to a pretty high level across the tiers of play that we have seen so far in... I was going to say season 15. It's wrong. It's season 1 now. It's all changed. I've got to get used to that in my head. Still not quite there, as my League of Legends brain has been trained over many, many years to go by the years.
But isn't that still technically season 15, but just season 1 of season 15?
You know what? I'm not going to answer that question, because that's just going to confound me. Gank bot side, though. Flash for that renewal. Exofang in a dangerous spot. Cleanses immediately, though. Grounded. Means he can't flash! But the heal is there, and Exofang stays alive just about. Summoners are down. Nice attempt there from No Way. Finds a great gank timing.
It still didn't manage to catch fully Exofang, and what is most importantly is that Kasink down doesn't have any summoner spells, especially the heal. Doesn't still have the ultimate, because that Lulu was still level 4, but even with level 4 only, Kasink was still able to keep Exofang alive, and that is the power of Lulu into this draft. I know that maybe some engaged supports like Leona, for example, were with a big question mark there for Bulldog's composition, but Lulu just fits so well here, because Exofang needs to stay alive in the upcoming team fights for Bulldog, because he is going to be the main damage dealer for this composition, and that's exactly up to Kasink to make sure that that happens.
Of course, it did force Exofang to back. Means that another plate has nearly fallen, lost half a wave there as well, which is a bit rough for Xmati. Flashes away from the zap, was in a serious spot of danger, especially as the Maokai's come down, thrown the ultimate, but his body blocked by Treats, who might just become a snack for the other team. Exofang about to pick it up with the final few rocket shots, and Jinx on the board. 2-0 this game. Mid lane as well. No way for No Way to escape. And that makes it a solo kill for Bulldog, who's suddenly come alive here. Topside, Santorin looking to right the scales a little bit. This Rumble in a dangerous spot, flashes away, gets stunned by the Spectral Maw, and Santorin will be allowed to pick that kill up himself. A lot of action in short order.
At least one thing to exchange there for NORD. At least they get one kill out of it. But the situation on the both side of the map for them is becoming tragic, to say the least. With Xmati losing absolutely everything and then dying with Treats, giving Jinx yet another kill. That is a 2-0-0 Jinx already at the 10th minute of the game. That is becoming very scary as we're going further. But that is the replay of what happened on the mid lane. Honestly, as it was on the top lane with the first blood, it's just a lot of damage and a lot more card control on top of that. Oh.
And all the while, we come back from the replay to see Exofang's picked up another kill. Foxtrot was saying he was smelling in the air. A bit of a upset against NORD or Los Ratones. Someone was going to be dropping a game. Bulldog, after what was looking to be a little bit of a dicey moment or two, just pick up kill after kill after kill with only the one traded topside. This Jinx, 3-0.
And this Jinx is still getting the turret plates.
Yeah, as well. Rumble ults the bot side wave, prevent Matty from getting that third turret plate he's been hunting for the last 5 odd minutes. There goes that rocket that claimed Vizichachi topside, the long distance one in the picture-in-picture.
If we could have a look at the top lane turret at any chance, dear observers, because I can't see on the minimap how many turret plates are still left there. I feel like not too many, because Bulldog are pushing for this first turret of the game. Ooh. Okay, thank you. Not
even
too
with
many.
the grounded. Yeah. Nearly down, looking to claim that fourth one. Void Grubs number 2 have spawned. Chachi, spot a bother, but will be able to Searing charge away and stays alive for now. Over towards the Grubs we go. NORD not wanting to give up all 6, which would be a touch problematic. And they'll be
Especially
here with
with
Xmati roaming up to make sure this goes over the way of NORD.
And despite the prior on the top lane, Bulldog decide not to fight with it, at least yet. Lulus even has an ultimate, but Bulldog decide not to over-push it. They're still keeping Medic on the bot lane. They are giving away the 3 grabbies, which is unfortunate for them, because with Jinx, with 6 grabbies, they could have gone through the turrets extremely quickly, but it is going to be, in the end, the equality between the teams for the grabbies.
traded out nice and evenly for now. Dragon spawning in 10 seconds. Would be the second dragon for NORD, but of course they just spent a lot of resources and time going towards the grub, so theoretically, be an opportunity for Bulldog to set up for it, but NORD actually looking like with the resets coming on through, they're going to be in an okay position, especially with Kasing still caught topside, not being able to reset. Be shy of support if they were to look for it, and Santorin already there on the dragon, soloing that one out by themselves.
Vizicachi is also on the top lane, but he has no teleport available, so if Bulldog try to force something around the Drake right now, there wouldn't be additional help for NORD. But Bulldog yet again decide not to overforce things currently, and this is the second Drake for NORD.
It's 3 of those objectives as well, 2 dragons and a set of grubs. Want some all 3 of those for the feat of strength.
So right now it's just the race for the first turret of the game.
Yeah.
And Bulldog so far have been leading it, but now they have rotated Exafang with a Jinx to the mid lane. The top lane turret still looks very shaky. The bot lane turret on the side of Bulldogs, however, was also not feeling rather well. So I really wonder where the first break is going to fall in the end.
Came in, not quite at Blade of the Ruin King, but still doing a fairly decent whack there into the Ornn. Of course, can't build Unending Despair, which has been that go-to tank item for so many top laners, is currently disabled because of a couple bugs running around with it that's messing around with some additional systems. So just getting rid of that one for now in pro play has meant the Hollow Radiance has to be built first here, which is not quite Sunfire, but a similar kind of deal.
It still works pretty much a very similar way, yes, but we might be seeing a 3-on-2.
Massive damage! The turret shots come up through! Flash! And the wild growth still not enough! Knock back onto Santorin, but Lula's in a dangerous spot, will be able to phase rush away. Oh, just too deep, and now No Way has teleported up here and is throwing Twin Fang after Twin Fang to secure a kill onto the big old tree from the jungle. Bulldogs, they went a little bit too deep there and were not paying attention.
Been a little bit more than they could chew on this fight on the top lane, even though they have rotated 3 people there, so probably thinking that they were in the numbers advantage. But I am loving this response from NORD, finally showing to us the strength of this team composition. They are happy with the enemies engaging into them, because they can throw their own horn into them to stop them with some nice control. They have No Way, and most importantly in this fight, they had Santorin with them. The moment he gets the reset on Kaimin, the moment Kaimin goes down and Viego turns into that Yone, you know that this is pretty much fight over for Bulldogs, because that's so much damage that NORD have suddenly acquired.
The gold lead now begins to extend a little bit for NORD. They've got the 2 dragons, and Chachi, you find down here as Cayman does their best to trade out with the Ornn. And what was looking like a pretty even game. Hell, Bulldog just had a spate of kills going their way. We were looking like a pretty solidly even game. Has begun to slip away from them again, and it's about to give them credit, say they've stood up so well to NORD that actually maybe they would be able to make them slip up here, but that 3-0 Jinx still a bright light for them. Beginning to get that a little bit difficult. 2.5 minutes to soul point for them. Still not had that first turret fall here either. Those turret blades have now fallen. NORD picked that one up and extend the gold lead more. Get another one of those feats of strength. It's beginning to just slip that little bit further towards the red side and NORD.
So they get all of them. They get the additional movement speed, especially No Way is going to be very happy with his build for his Cassiopeia. Managed to hold on the top lane, by the way, to make sure that this turret doesn't fall, but as I'm saying, it might not be able to hold for any longer.
Seems to be fast enough to slither away from danger, and Santorin was quick enough on that covering move towards the top lane to help save that one. Of course, Bulldog managed to trade back in the turrets at least, and we'll be having Herald spawning shortly. Just under a minute, and NORD look like they want to fight for control in this river. Matty throws down that true shot barrage, and it is just fighting over vision for now. No full-on engages. All the while, though, off-screen, the Ezreal secures the mid lane turret somewhat for free, and that's a big extra win there for NORD. A lot of control opened up on the map for them with that.
That's very interesting how Bulldog just let Ixmati do whatever he wants for the first half of the game. They let him completely alone on the bot lane to get a lot of XP, a lot of money from the minions. Now they let him take this very important turret for free for NORD, which pretty much opens up this upcoming Herald for NORD. And on top of that, if you think about it, if you look at the map right now, the Articon is going to spawn around the top lane as well, which means right now, especially if this turret on the top lane, goes down, NORD are going to have a much better access to all of the important objectives compared to Bulldogs.
engaged there onto No Way. Gets chunked out really low, but not taken out. Mitik goes flashing on in, trying to secure the kill onto the Cassiopeia. Not quite done, stays alive. The rest of the fight now continues. Trees looks to get the W, can't quite do it. Flash away from Chachi, still alive. Santorin secures the kill on the Rumble. Tries to ult away, survives for now. It's a 1 for none, but the Wild Growth trying to get the reset for Jinx, and Exafen finds his 4th of the game. It's a 1 for 1 for now, and everyone backs away. It got messy, but not that many kills in the grand scheme of it all. Turret stands just about for Bulldogs, and the health bars remain blinking.
And we're going back to what Middlecar was talking about on the desk when we saw the draft, that On is going to be able to survive for very long in the fights, but not long enough apparently was in this fight, because he had to back off rather quickly after throwing in the On horn. Norway had to back off as well, because he was the one that came in, was trying to go all in onto, and Norway got really choked out in this fight, and pretty much in the very beginning of it. But after that, when there is no more front lane available for NORD to withstand all this damage, all they can do is retreat, because otherwise Xmati goes down, Treats goes down, and there is nothing left of them.
And credit to Santorin, comes out of the CC, flash, Heartbreaker secures the kill and gets on out afterwards. Some clutch play there from the jungler. 3-0 and 2 themselves was maybe not required to be the mega carry this game, but is the one with the 100% kill participation. Bulldogs starting up this dragon would break the Drake stacking from NORD, and it feels like they're happy enough to give this one up. They've already got the 2 dragons, and they've let Chachi get that turret topside, get the wave shoved in, and not overplay their hand here. It's the map control that Bulldogs are struggling with a little bit here. Is Cayman, though?
And No Way.
Himself a little bit of a push bait. No Way. Oh dear, that's a lot of people coming on through. Gets hit up by the ult into the Yone bait sealed. Tries to bait it out with the petrifying gaze, but clearly needs to go to the opticians because he was staring at Jackal.
Oh, that's just a series of unfortunate wins for No Way here. I just wanted to praise NORD for not overforcing it at the Drake, and right after that, it turns out that No Way was actually overforcing a little bit on that very bot lane. Got ganked, got died, but came in.
Flash away, it's not going to be enough. Gets a shield briefly with the Spirit Cleave, but Santorin revenges his mid lane. Exafang in the mid lane gets shut down. Xmati picks up the burn, not quite enough. Stays alive on the Ezreal. 100 HP if that. On the other side, Chachi just trading out with Mitik. Keeps him away from his AD carry.
And his AD carry survives and gets away. There was around 30 HP that he went away with. But that is what's so interesting about NORD here, because while No Way was dying on the bot lane, they managed to get quite a lot of map additionally open for them, because that was Vizichachi on the top lane who finally got that stubborn outer turret down on the top lane. They were pushing in through the mid lane as well. They had enough time to regroup later on the bot lane to get Cayman, and they are leading still. In terms of the state of the map, if you look at it, 2 out of 3 of the outer turrets are still standing for NORD, while none are there for Bulldogs, which means as we are approaching the timers for the Atacon, that is going to be really important for NORD, as they are the ones who will be able to get the grounds, to set the grounds, and to secure them. They are the ones who will be able to put in better vision and just be prepared for Bulldog. And Bulldog will be forced to yet again try to go all in onto NORD, and NORD's team composition is going to be very happy to be the receiving ones.
Santorin starts up the Herald, and if they can turn that Atacon, they're feeling pleased. Cayman combines their soul to go over the wall into Chachi, but find too much more there as yet. Santorin is on vision, but with Treat and Chachi just standing in the river, Bulldog decide that discretion is the better part of valor, at least for now. Atacon spawns in 20 seconds. Viatic does not have teleport, wants to trade out for this tier 1, but means not going to be around for the spawn of that objective, and that could prove pretty critical if want to force it on the spot. Came in. Being looked at there as an opportunity for a gank, but not quite overstep, and will stay alive for now.
That is enough time, however, for Miatek to just simply walk all the way from the bot lane to the mid lane and be there for the fight, should it even happen.
Xmati eats a Leandri's empowered sapling, though, and that chunks him down by about 25%. A fairly decent deal there onto the Ezreal.
He has Karma though. He should be fine, for the time being at least, because if you look at what is happening with the vision right now, Bulldog don't see what's happening at the river. It is extremely scary for them to try to force anything.
They at least have got the saplings to force kind of fake vision at least. But you're right, the vision control in those river is not great for now. They now step in and clear out a lot of it. Those double control wards disappear. The sweeper claims another. Is that one ward just at the bottom of our screens right now, finally spotted out, and that will prevent a good teleport angle in. Chachi braves the bushes to get a ward down onto Mietix. Banana Bush there, who is down to half HP after some of the chokes come on through. Matty, Arcane shifts away. It's Lulis. Throws down his own ultimate there. Chachi split up from his team, but he is so damn tanky. Flashes over the chompers, caught a little ways away. Lulis, though, caught up by himself. Wild Growth, there's not enough to keep him alive. Cayman goes to the backline, onto Matty, who is deceased, pushing up the daisies. Gone to meet the grey screen to next. Matty, it's not going to matter, though. There's no way, goes for a double kill and gets a little bit more as Santorin runs rampant in the jungle, but Kasing will be able to save their own skin by flashing over the wall. It looked good for a second there as Cayman gets onto the back line, maybe trading out Lulis, but unfortunately for them, getting a hold of the AD carry is not worth 3 members of your own team.
No, it's not exactly the exchange that you're looking for in this fight, with a slightly premature ultimate coming in from Lulos, not managing to catch absolutely anybody. With props to Xmati, honestly, for being able to react on time and to get away from it. But that is basically what sets Bulldog's engage towards failure from the very beginning. The fight gets really scattered. They try to kill Vizichachi, they can't because man is very tanky. They try to go onto Xmati with a very good engage from Kasink, but don't really manage to find much there except for their own deaths.
Actually, credit to No Way as well for getting that miasma down as came in pop back. Actually, all the while, they've managed to claim another kill there in the mid lane. Matty jumped on with the flash, twisted advance. There's the ultimate afterwards, but remember, he's got Atakan, and he's got that revive courtesy of Voracious Atakan, which is, let's be real, guys, unless there's some changes, the only Atakan we're going to see in pro play, unless absolute madness occurs. And I've seen a 20-kill game that hasn't led to that the other Atakan spawning.
I can argue that.
Oh yeah, go on.
I saw the other Otacon once.
You did?
Yes,
When?
on LEC. It was
Really?
Fnatic versus, who was it? Day 3, I believe. Fnatic versus... Gosh, I don't remember. But that was a very bloody game. And everybody was surprised that we got the other Otacon in the end.
I've got Nightmare in the other room. It's going to be very disappointing in me for not seeing that. In fairness to me, I was not in the country at the time, but it was a long way away time zone-wise. So
You're excused.
catch all of it. I'm sorry. That's fine. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate the correction, Solari, as I was in fact just wrong, and that happens semi-regularly, guys. I hate to tell you.
Yeah, semi.
Don't be like that, you know. It's our first time casting again on the NLC like this. You don't need to be so mean.
Okay, fine. I'm gonna be nice to you for once. But we have like 2 more
unusual,
casts together this split.
I know. You got to save it for later on. Can't waste it all on the first cast, game.
You're right. Yeah.
All the while, though, back in the game, as all these tier 2s are just falling like paper. NORD pick up Exafang, who's just deleted from the map. They keep going, and actually, they can just keep picking up kill after kill after kill. It's a reset city for Santorin. Bit of a turnaround for Cayman. It's just not quite enough. They've still got the revives from Atakan, which allows them to turn the screws as much as they have. Tier 2s fall everywhere, kills fall everywhere, and NORD find themselves with an 8,000 odd gold lead, feeling very pleased indeed with the state of the last 5 minutes.
It's a very easy map for NORD from here on, and honestly just even right now, because they have the withdrawal from the Atacon, which means they can force whatever fight they want, and at the same time, they're 1 to 2 items ahead of everybody from Bulldog at this point. Bulldog literally cannot fight with them.
Just the improved resets as Matty just tries to get as much as he can there. Courtesy of the passive, we got ourselves a dragon spawning in a little while yet, so I'll note that NORD did manage to pick up Soul Point. We've got Baron spawning in 20-odd seconds, and NORD at this point, unless they really fumble it, it's their game to lose.
You know what? Things can still happen. Things can still be spicy for today, but at the time being 7-14 in terms of kills, massive gold lead for NORD. Core items completed for everybody on their side. I am not seeing any scenario in which NORD are not getting this Baron right now and not winning the game with it.
It would be very, very challenging indeed, and it feels like you've got so much damage available now, just such easy options onto a front line that is just not tanky. It's not even the front line that dies, it's the bot lane. Your key stars just disappear. Cayman slowed down, flashes away, but they're just not far enough to run as Santorin keeps breaking hearts. And the Ruined King ruins a few more lives, picks up a 7th kill of the game. One of the longest standing junglers in League of Legends stamps his mark down in this game. What a game from him on the Viego. All the while, Chachi finds a knock-up onto his opposite number. Miatic is not enjoying that particular one. The petrifying game lands down onto Cayman. And Yone has nowhere to go but another time in the grey screen. 6 deaths for him. It's fallen apart after what felt like a pretty competitive early game. Nord pick up the Baron, and it's pretty much lights out from there.
Absolutely. There is one inhibitor down already on the mid lane. The bot lane is pretty much open as well. There is no base turret there whatsoever. The Baron has just been secured by NORD. They have everything that they need to win this game right here, right now. Bulldog are not getting any stronger from this point on, so we cannot even look into any late scaling possibility for Bulldog as a miracle scenario. So from here on, it should be a straight walk for NORD from their base all the way to the enemies.
And when you're a team that's gotten a lot of the early towers, you snowball head, and then you get the Atakan into Baron kind of sequence of plays, it is so hard to come back. Kasing was forced to face check and got punished for it quite fast.
Yeah, he's Lulu. He has the ultimate, but he's still a tiny Lulu and not exactly the tankiest member in the team. Honestly, nobody on Bulldog is tanky right now, especially if you compare them to Vizichaji, who literally can stand any damage thrown at him. Can't say the same about anybody on Bulldog's side, because they simply go down whenever NORD advance onto them. Again, just a massive difference in strength, in levels, in the amount of items between the teams. Nothing you can do with it realistically.
Oh, Kaemin just going wide with the Fate Seal there as well. Ends up with that particular ultimate's name. Feel a little bit more appropriate for himself. While NORD shove their way in to the base one more time, looking to break down that inhibitor in the bot lane. With the towers in the top side remaining outside of the base for Bulldog, and NORD feel the need to go claim that. I don't know, they got 35 seconds till Mountain Soul. They're just hiding over this wall, looking to see if they can catch someone. Stepping, it'll be the Rumble! He's in his own base, it just doesn't matter! The Ordle mech pilot is dead to rights, it's the wrong genre, mate! It's a murder mystery! And we all know who the villain really is! It's the entirety of NORD! Lulis runs away briefly, Exafeng is just... Well, at this point, he is a non-factor, isn't he? 3 items he may have on the Jinx. But he is not looking like the Arcane character at this point. There is just not enough plot armor to keep this game alive. NORD running at the base, running at the Nexus turrets. It's their game. It's their victory. They will be moving to 2-1.
NORD, some of us have predicted today that they are going to lose at least a game, that maybe they are going to stumble, but no! They apparently are here to prove to us that today is still going to be their day, still keeping one of the leading positions within their group, looking towards this potential top 2 for themselves, because before this game it was Bulldog pretty much on the same place as NORD, but right now finally NORD have secured a 1+ compared to Bulldogs, and honestly just looking forward to seeing if they can win the second game of today if there is as well, because then they should be secured as a top 2 in their group.
Yeah, and I think obviously NORD had a rough game against the Rats last week. Los Ratones kind of took them to task, but we've already said that coming into this split, they were expected to be top 3. They had some pretty, some easier matchups today. We needed to see them perform. They did just that. I think the early game was perhaps more competitive than it could have been, but the moment the mid game started rolling around, the moment the structure started falling down, they did such a good job. But enough from us. We'll have to go to someone whose predictions Mr. Flopped. Foxdrop, how are you feeling about that one, mate?
And we are back. NORD with another victory. 2-1, trying to chase the shadow of Los Ratones. Foxdrop, hello, how you doing? We talked about previous, expectations, where they met. Hello, Fox.
All right. How long we got?
Oh, he's going in.
How long we got?
Going in.
Right. So, yeah, won it. Top to tail, just not it at all. I'm disappointed again. Like, this is the thing. There was so many things about that sucked. It really did. And I had faith in Bulldog, man. I had faith in you. And I still believe on paper, the talent of that roster, like, they can achieve things in the NLC for sure. But that was, I mean, I was not a fan of the draft. I don't understand the Rumble first pick, for example. There was no frontline, no space makers for the Jinx in these team fights. Jinx actually got funneled early as well. And I was thinking, you know what? Maybe you can cover some of the holes and weaknesses potentially from your draft with the fact that Jinx was like 4-0 at one point, right? And then no, they just lacked the cohesion to see that one through. This was the first.
Well, you talked about the Jinx. There you have it.
like, look. So I said about the lack of tankiness, right? Watch Lulush. Watch him. He's the only tank in your team. Look at this. He instantly gets popped, so Lulu has to blow everything on him. Well, what's left for Jinx, bro? The Jinx is the guy. You need Jinx to do the stuff, and it's just not gonna happen when Lulu has to babysit your Maokai jungle. It's just not happening. It's not happening.
So
Yeah,
not only was this a bad game from Bulldogs, but we have to highlight the game from NORD as well. Vizisachi, obviously, at the beginning of the game, took a beating on the top side, unnecessary beating as well, middle cut. You talked about that.
Yeah,
you actually asked, I don't want to see the replay. Yeah, something like
Yeah, no, several times. Vizisachi had some moments where maybe he showed a little bit of his experience and tenure on the Rift, where it seems like he just forgot what he was doing. Dying under tower, level 3 in a lane swap as an Ornn is not really something that should ever be happening, and then getting hit by a basically point-blank range Jinx ultimate, like, yeah, that's going to suck as well. But I think the key thing for me does come back to that draft, and once we actually started to see NORD engaging in more of these sort of 4v4, 5v5s, everything just felt a little bit more cohesive. It felt like a lot of their champions wanted to do the same thing. They had better opportunities to engage, they had more consistent damage, and player of the game for me has to be Santorin. Like, this guy completely popped off on the Viego. We said that he didn't need to necessarily be a primary damage threat in the pre-game. He was a primary damage threat. And as soon as Viego is able to jump into these fights earlier and earlier, it just becomes so difficult to deal with. Yeah, disappointing from Bulldog. And you're seeing it here. Santorin first man in. And it's not an issue in the world. Like, I don't know what Mietek is using his ultimate on there. He's trying to equalize the op block jungle. But, like, he's not equalizing any of the enemy team because there's not enough lockdown to keep them in that ultimate. So, yeah, in terms of first pick, really didn't hit the mark. And as soon as NORD got going, they didn't stop.
It's tough from this position as well if you're BDG, because for Bulldog, you wanted to, like, get someone down early, get Jinx on those resets, and there was a team fight earlier on in the top side where No Way, Vizisachi, and I believe it was Santorin as well, all survived on like less than 100 HP, right? Just a little bit extra would have brought them down at the beginning of the fight, and then Jinx would have got the reset, got excited, and maybe been able to cause havoc, and that could have been a potential snowball moment for Bulldog. But it's so difficult to play those team fights out when you've got, literally, as you saw in that clip, NORD can literally flash in with Viego W. That's the engage, and you just rout the enemy team. It shouldn't work that way, and it was really tough. It was really tough for Bulldog to execute. Like, I mean, these stats will actually say quite a lot, in my opinion, for how this game went. Specifically, like, I'm not even really gonna like criticize, you know, Jinx's inability to deal damage here, because like they did the first steps, which is to get her fed, and then she does damage in the team fights, right? But they never got that to that point. Came in, on the other hand, to bring a positive from Bulldog here. I think Cayman was really good in this game. Like, he was in a crap matchup. Like, it was terrible. He was blind picking as well. They locked that Cassio into Yone, which is quite difficult to play into. And he got a solo kill at one point as well, despite the fact that he got ganked early. He was always putting pressure down. He had a good flank angle in one of the replays we saw, which brought Xmate down as well. Like, I actually think Cayman was hella solid on that Yone, and is a bright spot for Bulldog moving forward here as well.
It makes me wonder what this game would have looked like if this composition was set up more to enable Cayman and was less split in its focus. You've got the Lulu, which plays really nicely with the Jinx, but doesn't really work with the Yone because of how far in he likes to go in these team fights. You can't really offer him much assistance. What does it look like if Cayman has got someone else engaging with him, providing a little bit more CC? What does it look like if he's got a pick-based ADC, like an Ashe or a Varus, who can provide him with a little bit more setup? Maybe it is still a NORD win. Maybe their composition does still get it over the line, but I think at the very minimum, we are hitting 30 minutes.
I agree with you. And when you look into these graphs, well, obviously you see it took a long time until that gold difference just started to sink in. But in reality, when you look into these sort of graphics, you see the damage dealt, but you never see how much damage it was soaked in by someone. And if we could get access to that one day, Vizicachi probably took more damage than 4 of the members of Bulldogs by himself. Having the Maokai with the Hendrix, yeah, it deals damage, but who else was going to soak in the damage? Just as Middlecourt highlighted, someone needs to survive. It's not going to be the Lulu, it's not going to be the Yone or the Rumble, or even the Maokai with this build as well. So in paper, it kind of, you knew what they wanted to do, but NORD didn't allow it as well. And yeah, it's good to see that Yone was capable of holding its own versus the Casio, but as a team and with their experience, we talked about NORD, I think they're just one step above. And Bulldogs right now, well, they're 1-2, which is a complicated situation for them if they want to get a good seeding. So their last game, they have to win it. They actually have to win it if they want to have the good seeding.
Yeah, it was tough. It was a tough one to watch. I mean, I know we've been kind of dissecting the disappointment I have from Bulldog's side there, but you know, to NORD's credit, they are the team that won this game.
Yeah.
It didn't always look good for them, but they still found a way to win, and I think that's what good teams do. And I think specifically, I would highlight Santorin as well. Like, he was great last week on the Vi as more of a kind of like setup style jungle, kind of playing more for his team. This time around on the Viego, more carry focused, getting involved, being the guy this time, and he did that phenomenally as well. So for me, yeah, Santorin is really impressing me here on NORD, and as far as bot sides go as well, Xmati and Treats have not really nothing really bad for me to say out of any of these games. They've been super solid and consistent, and that's something that you need out of a bot laner.
They're cleaning up and their arc is looking beautiful at the moment, but we'll move on with this show. We have to do a quick pause before we return for game 2 of the day of Play Day 3. I'll see you soon, don't go anywhere. Be right back.